until that. So let's see who Denmark rivaled this time. There we go, they got England as a rival. We should be fine. So we will get English support for independence. We will get Lithuanian support, even though it's utterly pointless. No one else is going to support us for independence yet. We're probably going to work on getting Muscovy to like us, because Novgorod tends to get eaten relatively quickly. Might not do if they manage to snag an Ottoman alliance, which is just the funniest thing in the world ever. Then Muscovy's screwed. But, you know, we might get lucky. Sometimes Lithuania does choose the local noble, so that's what we'll be hoping for. The other thing we're going to do, at least to begin with, is because our income is not great at this stage, we're actually going to drop all of these forts. So we're not going to pay maintenance on them. We'll pay maintenance on none of them. We'll pay maintenance on that one. So that saves us a bit of early money. We will build to our force limit. In fact, we'll build beyond our force limit. Our force limit is 16, but actually let's fabricate a claim on Denmark as well. We're going to want to move our ships around to here. Let's get them out of the way. In fact, actually what we might do, rather than doing that, or rather before we do that, is once we get a diplomat back, we're going to see if we can sell Denmark some ships. Because it'll use up their ship force limit if we sell them some cogs, i.e. transport ships. Which will be good for us, because then they can't build more galleys. But we're mostly going to hide our fleet in Stockholm for the duration of this independence war, because they have a lot more ships than us, and the Norwegian fleet will help them. In terms of allies, it'll be interesting to see who they pick up as allies. Probably the other thing to do, as I say, is let's build up to our force limit, which is 16 at the moment. Let's potentially get a military advisor. We will get this guy when we can afford him, because morale of armies is going to be quite useful for us. This is the province we want to watch. We want this fort to drop. We want them to not pay maintenance on this fort. But they do have a rebel problem. They start with a rebel problem, so it kind of depends on how that rebel problem goes. What I'm going to do is save this frequently, because as I say, we are doing this not as a speed run, but as a bit of a fun tutorial run. So remember, our other fail condition is if England starts the war with France before we get to a position where we can declare independence. Which we don't want to happen, because if so, they'll stop. Well, they'll still back our independence, but they'll be in a war with France, and it won't be helpful. So Denmark has a terrible heir to the throne with a 0 admin guy, so luckily we won't be needing that. We do have some free diplomats now, so what I'm going to do is see if we can persuade Denmark to buy some cogs. Denmark, do you like cog? So that'll be on the 12th. We could see if Norway wants some. Norway will buy some cogs. Norway loves a bit of cog. Because these cogs aren't hugely useful to us. We're not going to be transporting large navies around at the moment, or large armies around, so they're just taking up our force limit. So by flogging them to Norway and Denmark, what we're doing is two things. One, we're making a bit of money rather than just disbanding the units. But two, we're clogging up their force limit with transport ships. So they then can't build galleys into that force limit, because the AI is not going to build over its force limit. So Denmark, would you like some cogs? Yes, and you're going to give us a ton of gold for it, you absolute idiots. We didn't do our estates, which is my fault, because I've not played this game properly in so long, which means we're now on 49%, which is annoying. But what we're going to do is seize Crown Land. That's going to give us a minor rebellion, but we'll deal with it. It's fine. It'll be somewhere. In air. It's fine. They're up there. It's Catholic zealots. We're already Catholic. Whatever. Then we are going to grant the nobility privileges, because that's going to push them back into positive, which means we're going to get manpower recovery, which is really critical for us at this stage. So you describe CK3 as a dynasty game rather than conquest one. Is EU4 more of a conquer the world one? So you can play it as a conquer the world. I don't think it is. I think it's more fun not to conquer the world. I see it more as it is a nation simulator, but it's more of a kind of, can you exist in surrounding nations? So you can, it's called blobbing, is where you try and conquer the world, and people do. There's an achievement for conquering the world. There's all that kind of thing. But I actually think it's far more fun just to kind of role play the nation's place in the world. But you're going to get colonial events at various points. You're going to get all of that. Oh, there you go. Perfect. In exchange for accepting the Treaty of Tours in 1444, the County of Maine was promised in France. In practice, however, this has taken quite some time to materialise. The arrival of Charles VII himself on the scene has made the hold-up go away, however. So England gave Maine back to France peacefully, which is perfect. Perfect for us, because it actually means that they're not going to go to war now. England is still going to have the War of the Roses, but we're going to need to fight that beforehand. So yeah, EU4 is, I see as more, it's a nation simulator, and almost simulating nations through the turmoil that occurred between the 15th century and the 18th century. Because the game stops just as sort of Napoleonic era dawns, which is where theoretically, isn't it, Clash of Eagles kicks in, which I do hope see Paradox at some point revive Clash of Eagles, because that'd be fun. Engelbrectson is a legendary and enigmatic figure in Swedish medieval history. In 1434, the peasants of Dalarna, the Dales, in Sweden had enough of Union King Eric's crushing taxes and brutal sheriffs. Led by Engelbrekt, the peasants and miners, supported by certain factions within the church and gentry, rose up in open rebellion. Why has our music stopped? Did we really, kind of run out of music already? Moods, epic, vocals, instrumentals, genres, classical, go. Right, where were we? They captured castle after castle and soon controlled the greater part of Sweden. Meanwhile, Erik Pukki had joined Engelbrekt in revolt in Finland. For 2 years, Engelbrekt was the de facto ruler of Sweden, but intrigue among the noblemen and fighting between Engelbrekt, Erik Pukki, and Karl Knutsson finally resulted in Engelbrekt's murder at the hand of Mons Bengtsson. Nacht och dag. So we can have Engelbrekt murdered, which gives us a loss of liberty desire and stability. No, 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 no. Stand by the Union, which Denmark likes us, and we can lose liberty desire. No, no, no. Pick up the torch of freedom. Denmark hates us a bit more. We gain some liberty desire, and we gain 10,000 manpower. Why is it Europa Universalis when it includes the whole world? Because it didn't originally include the whole world. It was very much Europe focused. The game has expanded over time. Over time and over genres, basically. Right, we have a decent amount of gold in the bank, which is going to be useful, because we're going to lose gold in this civil war. We are building a spy network. We know that the English are going to support us, so hopefully we'll be alright. We also know that actually our real force limit is probably nearer to 18. But we are going to take the morale of... Oh, we lost the morale of armies guy, did we? No, 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 I'm on the wrong one. There you go. We are going to take this chap, because morale of armies plus 10 at this point in the game is really useful. We are going to create a general, who is terrible, but he is still a general. So good on you, Axel Eckerhelm. We can name generals and admirals in this game, so do feel free to cash in your namey thing. Although I can't guarantee we'll get to all of those names today. So we're now losing a bit of money each month, but that's fine because we've got a bit in the bank. We're going to lose even more when all of these forts turn back on, but with any luck, what will happen is that, and actually we're going to start improving relations with Muscovy. We're going to start improving relations with Muscovy. We're also going to start improving relations with Poland. So Danes have got multiple rebellion problems here going on at the moment, which is nice. We'd quite like them to fight these people. Are any of these people real historic figures? Yes, so the game is full of flavour in the sense that you will get real world people showing up, doing things and everything else at various points. Obviously if you're creating generals, when you're randomly creating them it gives them kind of random names. But yeah, EU4 has hundreds and hundreds of events based on history for so many different nations. And we've also got things like missions we can go down. So like, you know, ending the Kalmar Union will give us some perks. Conquering Scania, creating the Baltic Fleet. We get all of these custom things. In fact, actually, Sweden doesn't have as great a tree as a lot of them. Brandenburg has a wonderful tree. So the other thing with CK3, difference between CK3 and EU4 is the diplomacy model in this is phenomenal. It's so much better and more complex than the diplomacy model in CK3, and you'll see that when we declare our independence war and get our peace treaties going. You'll really see that. Now we're going to need 20 before we can lob a claim in for here. And what we're actually going to claim is Lund, because we don't have a claim on Lund at the moment. But as you can see from how this is, if we manage to get independence, grabbing Lund will be really useful. Because it'll actually mean that we've got a defensible naval border with the Danes. Go on, go deal with them. Thank you. Go deal with your rebels. And you go hang out in Kalmar. EU4 still has the best peace offer mechanics of the Paradox games. No need to get 100% and you can get exactly what you need. Yeah, completely. The diplomacy model in this is phenomenal. Right, can you stop paying for that fort, please? You don't need to pay for that fort anymore. I stick a claim in there. Because we really need to kick this war off sooner rather than later. What I'd really like is the Danish army to fuck off over there, which they are happily doing. Stop paying for that fort. Stop paying for it. We're going to give them till June to see if they stop paying for that fort. Because we are on a bit of a timer. Fluffy Wolf! Thank you very much for the follow. Oh, Scorbut, you cashed in a random book and I missed it. Let me do your random book. Random book. Chat view. Chat view, random book. Random book. Let's go with... kind of feel like we should go with something a bit more 18th century-ish, as that's what we're playing. Let's go with this. So this is The Enemy at the Gate, Habsburgs, Ottomans and the Battle for Europe by Andrew Wheatcroft. It's a really, really good read. If you're kind of always aware that kind of the run-ins between the kind of the Habsburgs and the Ottomans and that kind of friction over the Balkans and everything else. But you kind of like, you know, bits, but not all of it. This is a really good primer read, and it's very readable. It's very, very readable, and it will take you through all of that kind of stuff. It's really nicely done. It's incredibly well read. It focuses sort of on the siege. So it kind of focuses on the siege of Vienna and kind of wraps the whole narrative around that. But yeah, if you're looking, particularly at Christmas, if you're looking for a solid Christmas, immerse yourself in a book whilst ignoring family drama, The Enemy at the Gate is really, really good. So I would recommend that. But what I'll actually do is I will add it quickly, because that's definitely still in print. Definitely still in print, because it's not that old. So let me add that quickly to our bookshop link. I would kill for Paradox to have a thing that turned off edge scrolling in their games. So bookshop.org. Am I logged in? I am logged in. This is useful. Enemy at the gate. That's not helping. Yes, it is. There it is. Add to list. Add to my book lists. Books mentioned on stream. There you go. If you do exclamation mark books, that will now bookshop. That will now appear on the bookshop link. It is exclamation mark books. I thought it might be bookshop. No, good on me. I did books. I live in Lund, the city. They still find stuff from the Sweden-Denmark's wars here, as well as the 10th, 11th century school territory. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't exactly peaceful territory. Right, Denmark is casually moving its army over, so I am tempted, as they're going into there. See, we could actually smack the Danes around already. But, yeah, so when I say relatively recent, I mean written within the last 20 years, because that's how my brain works. So we could go for them there, but I really want them to drop the maintenance on that fort. If they drop the maintenance on that fort, we can storm it before they even manage to get it up. Giggity. But they're not going to. What's the big difference between EU4 and CK3? CK3 is very much about nations and nation states. Yeah, they're not going to drop that. Let's ambush that army while we can. Or not. Right, let's declare now while they're stuck on that siege. So you're managing a nation state rather than dynasties. So your nation will get bigger or smaller, and you may choose to change your nation because you might form a bigger one or stuff like that. But you are primarily running a country. That means you have to think like a country, not like a family. So it's more like that. Within the last 20 years, you mean 1980 to 2000, right? It is generally kind of like, I do tend to think in a... Like, I love the whole thing that if Happy Days was made now, it'd be set in the 1990s. Which is horrifying, if you think about it. Right, I think we're going to give this a go. What I will do is, just in case this goes catastrophically wrong, which it shouldn't do. But, you know, we're on stream here. So, standard thing is, a war that I have won 1 billion times before will go catastrophically wrong when we try and do it on stream. But I've taken a backup of the save, so we can always do it again. Because we're set up nicely for this, so let's not worry too much. Can I ask a question related to CK3? You absolutely can. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Tommy Ench. That CK3 is almost a kind of character-based game, whereas EU is a nation-based simulator. So we are going to declare an independence war on Denmark. The Lithuanian event has not fired, so we are actually going to get Lithuania in this. They have got as allies East Frisia. Oh no! Which England will probably go and deal with first, but we also are going to have to fight Norway at Defondle, thank you very much for the gifted sub. When RNG is involved, all can go wrong in the blink of an eye. You're absolutely right, Kramazon74.
0 F_0Z. They have given 9 gift subs in the channel.
There you go, the Welshman has spoken. Yeah, RNG kicks in, and it can go wrong in a blink of an eye. Like, I fully expect... Can the Lithuanians get subsumed to Poland during the middle of a war? I can't remember whether that event can fire if a war is underway or not. But I think it can, and just ruin your day. So we need a diplomat back, so let's get a diplomat back. You can come home. Now, I don't think we're going to get any more independent support, but I am reasonably confident that we can get a... We might not get a Muscovy alliance, but we might do. We'll see. I'm struggling with the succession thing. How can I set up for my heir to get the best domains after I die? The trick is to make sure that the best domain is your the duchy. Let's assuming you're a king. The trick is to make sure that your duchy, the primary duchy for the kingdom, is the best domain, and by that I mean probably make sure it has the most military power, because your heir will always get the primary kingdom title and the primary duchy that belongs to that kingdom. So if you're not prepared to stick your kids in jail and murder them all like I am, then that's the best thing you can do. Right, we're going to get a stability hit, that's fine, because we will stab up. We got the world's worst fucking king. That is a legitimately terrible ruler. Adolf Johann, you utterly stuck. And with the main domain you mean the head capital or something. Yeah, so let's say you are playing Kingdom of Castile. I think the capital of Castile in CK3 is Burgos, I think. In which case, make sure that the duchy that Burgos is within is the one you control. This man is going to lead our armies, not because we think he's going to be a good general, but because we would quite like him to die horrifically quickly. May you be a better general than you are a king. 2 siege pips. That's good, because we've got a freaking castle to siege down here. Now, we do have now... We are at war with Denmark. We have dragged in England and Lithuania. Lithuania are probably going to disappear pretty sharpish, but in the meantime, we will try and persuade them to go and do something fucking useful. So Lithuania, can you actually... Because you'll probably get military access from Novgorod. Can you go and siege down Norway? England, would you mind awfully dealing with East Frisia? So let's get them out of this war. And then go stick some troops on Colding. Now the AI may not deal with that, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't think EU4 has edge scrolling disabled. Like, normally it's not a problem. I don't mind it when I'm just playing the game for fun. But when you're playing the game to stream, because I'm kind of often kind of pinging over to my second monitor to just check chat or do things, it's like I end up having to alt-tab out of the game while I do it, just to stop it edge scrolling for you. Right, we're now losing money because we're paying for all our forts. This is fine. What I'm kind of hoping is that England will actually sub us, but they probably won't. We will keep this alliance with England going, because it is quite useful to us. So what we do want to do is get a royal marriage with them. The moment we get the chance. Lithuania I'm less fussed about, because I'm still convinced we're going to lose them very shortly to Poland anyway. We could potentially ambush that fleet. I think they would get there too quickly, but we'll get points for just fighting it. Weirdly, losing naval battles is not the end of the world. They didn't lose any ships for it. But let's hide back in Stockholm. We should be able to build another couple of units while we can. We can now go up to 19, so let's drop those units out quickly. Now at least he's got 2 siege pips, so that should help with our siege speed. Because here come the frickin' Danes doing annoying Danish things. Now this is going to be awkward because they might pop while they're in Elfsborg. No, they're not going to, that's fine. They are going to sit on Elfsborg though. So I think what we're probably going to do is take a chance, split them off. Is there a good tutorial start for EU4 the way Ireland is for CK3? Not as good. Not as good. Seriously, England, don't lose fucking naval battles to the East Frisians. Castile is probably not a bad one to do. Ottomans, I kind of don't recommend the Ottomans as a start. They are the big power in the game. But it's kind of like, because the Ottoman have like kind of custom mechanics, you're not really learning how to play a European power. So I'd kind of go avoid England, because England has a lot of problems early on. What I would say is cheat, so don't play Iron Man, play with the console on, and then just feel free to give yourself manpower or money if you accidentally lose a war. Because the real issue in CK3 is mostly just that it's hard to... you have to know how to recover from when things go wrong. And that's the thing I think for most new players, is they struggle with that kind of early, how do I deal with things going wrong type element. So just take that out of the game for yourself early on. It's perfectly fair and reasonable to not have to worry about that early on. Fucking Norwegians, man. This is our issue. Once we've got this, we can essentially defend... England, where are you going? Just do something useful. Because we are largely dependent on the AI doing something useful here. Because if the Danes manage to group up their troops, they will beat us. So we're going to have to hope this ends before that siege does, and before the Danes finish sieging that down. So that we can rush our troops back to deal with the fucking Norwegians. Yeah, actually that's a good point. Naples is a really nice start. You start as a subject of Aragon, but 99% of the times you will get freed early. These events are all because we have a terrible king. Right, looks like the English are going to deal with that for us, which is good. Right. We're now in a siege race with the Norwegians. England, do, don't, England, no. Right, the good news is East Frisia is also in another war, so they might actually peace out sooner rather than later. They will. Right, that's East Frisia out, which is going to stop England getting distracted. We're also going to get our royal marriage with England in 10 days. There's no way to murder or improve your king. So you don't have the kind of individual character level flexibility that you get in CK3. Right, That is probably going to fall. Just because. And then we'll have to take it back, which will be annoying, but it's not the end of the world. The English are landing in force now, so that is useful. So I don't want to move all of these troops off to disrupt that. What we really want to do is get on Shaland, which means we need the English to kind of deal with that as well. England, do you want to just go and deal with that fucking Danish army rather than... Right, we got Lund. Now, can we get back to Stockholm before they liberate it? The Danes have walked all the way around there, which is interesting. We've got 28% chance of that falls. It didn't fall. We should get there before the next tick. Yeah, you can abdicate your king, but it is quite costly. What we're also going to do is we're going to increase our stability. We do want our royal marriage with England. How are we looking on Muscovy? Because Muscovy's already at war over there. Right, we can get Muscovy into range, because it's minus 1,000 because they're at war with us, but then they're only 12 behind that. So that should be doable. Oh, you little fuckers. Literally like a couple of days before we arrive. Which means that fleet's going to get murdered now. Arseholes. Did you not get military access? Because I'm not seeing any Lithuanian troops running around. Right, get over here and do something fucking useful, Lithuania. Yeah, Stockholm's just a capital fort, whereas that's a proper fort. So we will get that back quick enough. It's just annoying. What we are kind of hoping is that our ruler will die on the battlefield. Because then we'll get a better ruler. What we're going to do as well is we're going to tell England to try and get there. Because we can't cross to conquer Shaland. And if we can get Shaland, it's pretty much game over in this war for the Danes. Because that's their capital. Right, we do have a bad but not worse heir, so that's fine. So it's not the end of the world. Yeah, we need Dallas Kogan back because it is a lot of money. What we really want is the English to stick a fleet in there, because if they stick a fleet in there, we'll get Shaland. Because we can't cross at the moment because the Danish are blocking the route. What we can probably do is tell the English to go for that as well. Because we are bleeding gold at the moment. Because we do have enough war score now that we could go independent. We're going to grab that Norwegian fort. Right, War of the Roses is fired, so England is about to become less useful to us. Depends on whether they start shipping their troops home. But hopefully they'll deal with their commitments to us before they do. I feel like the Lithuanians should be doing something or anything, and they're not. Simony, we need the money. Right, you should be able to win that, England. Come on. Because I don't like declaring independence when we're only like this, but we might have to. The English fleet is doing bits. If they get on Shayland, we're laughing. But it needs England to be smart enough to move its navy over here. And it's not. See, what I'd normally like to do is lurk there and then just run for it when the English navy actually gets in position, but they're not going to. Oh yeah, no, I know Dallas Kogan's a huge money booster, but... Right, we might seriously have to consider going independent while we can. So this is what I mean about you have so many more options in this. Because we could right now get independence. We couldn't get Lund. But we're on 0 for that. Depends on whether we can get a tick before that falls. Because if we could do that, I'd probably do that. Because part of EU4 is knowing when the war is going against you. And the Danes are doing fuck all. The Lithuanians are doing fuck all here and could disappear to Poland. So what I'd really like to get is Lund. The advantage of getting it now is it's a fort, and it means we can delete these 2 forts and we can hold there. So there is a huge win for us in getting Lund. Like now. So that's now our war score is 4 because the Royal Navy's just rocked up. So I think we take that while we can. Because even though it's still a red X, it's just that the red X hasn't updated. If you look at the actual score on it, it says 4. We're getting ticking from our capital being free, but we're about to lose Colding. They've got more troops over there, realistically, than the English are going to be able to deal with. The alternative is we hang on and get Trondelag and hope we get that. But I think we just take this. Because we're not far off being able to get a Muscovy alliance. Which would be very, very useful for us. Because you've got to remember, this little Norwegian army is going to start sieging stuff down. These armies are going to start doing damage over here. So yeah, I think we just take that. We're also losing cash hand over fist. And the other danger we've got here is we get into a point where our economy just starts spiralling into awfulness post-independence, which we don't want. So... Lithuania looks massive. It does, because it's the original old kingdom of Lithuania. So I think we take that. I think independence plus Lund in a war where we were fighting with our one hand tied behind our back. Yeah, the interest debt spiral is the worst thing, and it's what we want to avoid. Because remember, England has got massive problems at home now because the War of the Roses has kicked off. So they're going to start shipping their fleets back. Or their armies back. So I think we take that. Because what that means is we can now delete these 2 forts, which is going to save us some cash. We can make Skane a core, which is going to help. So, who is our Lund resident? Congratulations, you're now Swedish again. We can get these chaps over here. The other thing it means we can start doing is if we're quick, if we're really lucky, we can grab Never. Now what we really want is an alliance with the Muscovites. They've got too many dip relations, so that might drop. Poland will give us an alliance. And I kind of feel like a Polish alliance would be useful for us, because they are rivaling Denmark. We don't have a navy at the moment, so actually this is the perfect time for us to take our navy booster. And we're actually going to take ship trade power, which is going to cost us exactly 0 because we don't have a navy. I mean, naval maintenance modifier is nice, but we're going to need to be steering a lot of trade here, so I think we will go merchant navy. We have also completed a mission which is to end the Kalmar Union. We are no longer a subject nation. We own Stockholm and we are at peace. Which means we can click this, which gives us permanent claims on all of this territory. We also don't need to be paying for this fort at the moment, or for this fort, because we're not at war. In terms of rivals, we are going to rival... Let's have a look at what Muscovy rivals. Hopefully they rival Novgorod. Muscovy doesn't rival anyone. Let's wait and see if they rival Novgorod. And we are going to delete the Abo fort as well. Now we're still losing money per turn, so we are going to fire our Morale of Armies guy. We are going to unfocus on that. Look at that, fucking 3. It's outrageous. We really need him to die. Well, actually, he's 0, so we kind of need him not to die until we've started a war with that, but... until late 14th century, Lithuania was still pagan. It ended after the marriage of Lithuanian King Jogaila and Polish Queen Jadwiga, who is in turn a daughter of a Hungarian king. Yeah, there you go. Can you explain those stats? So, a lot of what happens in EU4 is based off of monarch points. So you spend monarch points to do things. So, for example, making Lund, now Skane, an official part of our kind of Swedish nation rather than just a bit of occupied territory, is going to cost us 100 points, 100 of the admin points here. In order to increase our technology level, we also need to spend administrative points. And to do things like recruit admirals or generals, we need to spend some of our diplomatic points or our military points. So as the quicker you can gain these points, the more options you have in doing things. Now the way you gain these points is you gain a base level of those points every month. But this is modified by the skills of your ruling king. And this can be anything between 0 and 6 for each of these values. As you can see, we have legitimately the world's most terrible king because he has no military skill. So we're only generating 3 military points a month, which is the base. He's adding 3 to our diplomacy score, which is 6, and he's adding 0 to our admin score. Now you can boost these with advisors as well, but advisors cost money, and money is a thing we absolutely do not have. So, the sooner we can kill off Adolf Johann I of Palmer here, the better. Because even our air is better, and at least that would mean we were generating 5, 5, and 6 points in these categories per month, respectively. He is honestly one of the worst rulers I've seen in a long time. The game starts with a legitimately terrible ruler in... Is it Aragon or Castile that has a legitimately terrible ruler? So this is what the game starts Castile with, which it sees as a legitimately terrible ruler. England has a better King of Lancaster now as a 3-3-3, so they're doing alright, but they start with a 0-0-0. King Joan, or Queen, yeah, King Joan is they're doing alright. So yeah, terrible king. awful king we've got. Which is pretty shit. Now, would Muscovy take a royal marriage? No, because of their diplomatic relations penalty. Muscovy alliance is our massive priority. So we could take a dip rep guy. And when they've got rivals, we could insult their rivals. So we're fabricating a claim on them. We're also going to fabricate a claim on the Teutonic Order. But we're going to get our alliance with Poland first. Now, we're not going to get this in time, but what we really, really would like is a claim on Danzig. Can the base skills be increased over time through tech? No, but what happens is you might get random events that boost your monarch skills by some stuff, but they are pretty rare. What are you after, England? England wants to cash in their favours, because over time nations build up favours, and they did build a lot of favours with us. They want to get some soldiers. I think we are actually going to accept that, because we'll let them have some soldiers. So we have 3 favours with England at the moment. We will have none with Poland. But the other problem is we're going to get some... So Naples is free. So how do you get better rulers? You just need them to die. You just need them to die, and it's pure... Well, it's 90% luck what skills you get. So this is one of the big differences with... Now we're hoping that Muscovy doesn't rival Poland when they get a chance, but we'll see. See, minus 10, we could potentially overcome that. Now the good news is we are now scraping a profit, so we are not in a massive death spiral. Griffrig, thank you for renewing your subscription. 13 months is a long time. That is incredibly generous of you. F80, thoughts on Ashes? You'll have to make a better ground tomorrow. Yeah, Ashes is not happening. Yeah, no, let's be honest there. Didn't Steve Smith drop the Ashes earlier? I've not caught up on last night's action yet. But yeah, it is an absolute fucking disaster. Right, we do need some rivals. So rivals are people you decide that you kind of hate in game. I think we will take Denmark because it's just an absolute no-brainer. But we're going to hold off on taking any more until we see where Muscovy is hating. We technically still have our Lithuanian alliance as well, so we'll see how that spans out for us. Because they're only at -9 here. We could see if they had rivals, we could insult one of their rivals and flip that. It's a pity there are no buffs, for instance, a Renaissance government's being more effective than a feudal one. Yeah, I mean, you kind of get that if you go Republic as a form of government, but it's not quite the same. Sonohedron! Thank you for the subscription. Right, do we want to force the merchants to lower prices? Do we want a bunch of rebellions? No thanks. We do not want a rebellion in Skane right now. We're going to have to pay, I think. We'll pay. Gives us burger loyalty. Which does mean another loan. Which is not good news for us, but we'll get there. Swedish noble rebels are going to fire because we have terrible legitimacy as well. So we are going to have to deal with them. Apparently they are going to fire in Skane as well, because obviously why would they not? Which is actually a bit of a problem for us. right now, because we don't have any ships. We need at least one ship, because we can't get troops to Skane at the moment. Yeah, I know it's actually Skorne, but I enjoy saying Skane and I know it annoys the Swedes. Because we lost all our ships. Because the Norwegians are assholes. Now what we could do is take the temporary hit on Crown Land. And gain a ton of money. If we hold off until the 12th, till December, we can at least get some of that Crown Land back. Because debt spiral is basically early Sweden's worst nightmare. If we had the admin points, I'd stab up again. But we don't. So I suspect we will take the Crown Land hit. Although we are scraping a profit, so maybe not. Because if our Crown Land dips below 30%, i.e. the amount of land our state controls dips below 30%, then we suffer a 10% tax penalty every month, which would mean our taxable income would drop by 0.42. So we would still just about be in profit. Early Sweden, the death spiral is an interest death spiral. Because yeah, it is a debt spiral, death spiral. So we have 4 loans running at 250. So our loan interest at the moment, how much are we paying in interest? We're dropping 0.83 in interest. I think it might be in our net benefit to actually take the Crown Land hit and pay off. So yeah, in December, because what we can do is we can use that to boost everyone's happiness. Then take the hit. And we'll be essentially down to... because I'll add on 35, so we'll only be 3% under our Crown Land. Yes, getting sports coverage for cheap when you live in a country that doesn't give a shit about the sport is really, really handy. I get to do it with NFL, which is great. I am very worried about our Skane rebels here. We might have to buy them down, which I don't like doing. Because we can't afford for them to rebel here. Because if they rebel there... Oh, okay, they're going to go in there now? That's fine, we can deal with them if they're in there. Or what I would probably be, Inade, wouldn't it? Use some dip points to boost production in Dallas-Kogan. Yes, but what I'd rather do is wait for Renaissance to spawn and then do it. And then we will boost Dallas-Kogan into probably being a size 30. So it gets in so that it gets Renaissance and then start spreading it out. And then for the next one we will push Stockholm. Because I think it's actually in our value to push Dallas-Kogan before we boost Stockholm. Because, as you say, Dallas can get some special copper modifiers which give it a ton of money. Right, you lot, go chill up there. Because as long as that revolt bursts up there, and it's most likely to burst in an air, then we can deal with them. First day is long. Yeah, isn't it got a weird dot over it? Dallas Corgan. This is why I don't speak Swedish. I can just about read Swedish these days. I can understand basic Swedish, but my accent is criminal. Right, Muscovy likes us less, so presumably they've finally rivaled someone, and it's someone we're allied to. Yeah, they've rivaled Poland. That's not helpful for us. The good news is they didn't get much territory. And Novgorod's at war with the Livonian Order. This is also good news for us, weirdly. Because we really want to control Neva. I'm legit surprised that we did get the junior partner event. So we do have the Polish alliance, which is very powerful now. Just not convinced it's better than an early Muscovy alliance. Right, Poland is moving to attack the Teutonic Order. So you see how they're moving troops in over here? The Teutons are allied with Livonian Order and Verden. Now, if we go to war with the Teutons, and this is why I love EU4 for its much more advanced diplomacy model. The Poles are saying that if we declared war on the Teutons for Danzig, which we need our claim to kick in and fire, right, Bosch. So we could start a war with the Teutonic Order and say we want Danzig. England would not come in on that war, because they say, look, it's too far away, I don't want to do any of it. But Poland would come in on that war if we promised them land out of the war. To which we can say, yes, absolutely. We will happily promise you some land down here because we want Danzig. Come in on this war. Now the reason this is good is you'll notice the Polish are already moving troops up towards the Teutonic Order's border. This is because they have a truce with the Teutons that has just expired. So they are pretty much going to go to war with Poland anyway. With Teutons anyway. So at least this way we're controlling the war. We do need a diplomat back. Because I haven't got a diplomat back. So we need to hope we get a diplomat back in 6 days before the Poles declare war. So we're saying we want Danzig. We'll give you something from what's left to be decided. But come in on this war with us. And now we can essentially, hopefully, use the Poles to fight this war for us. The other people who are in this war are Verden and the Livonian Order. But the Livonian Order are busy going to war with Novgorod. So whatever, lads. Carry on. So this is what I like about the diplomacy model in this, and it's why it's so much better than the diplomacy model in CK3, even in like HOI4 and Stellaris, is it just gives you so much more flexibility. But we're still going to have to hang around up north because we want to deal with our Swedish noble rebels. But Poland is already happily sieging all of this down. Now they are going to fire at 19k. Can we actually get any more troops yet? No, we can't. Poland started the war with the Teutons about this time, so-called 13 years war. Yeah, which is one of the reasons they kind of tend to do it very quickly in-game. Like, the moment their truce expires in 1450, they do tend to go to war. The other thing to remember is the Lithuanians are going to get involved in this because they're a subject of Poland. I missed the early EU4 chain wars where calling in allies meant they could call in their allies. Yeah, it gets out of control very quickly, though. I kind of wonder whether we just buy these fools down. Problem is our legitimacy is so low. And we're not generating a lot of military points because our ruler sucks. Downside is if we lose to them. I think we might have to stab boost again, which is just awful, but... At least it massively reduces the size of the rebels we're facing. In fact, we might split these up now. Now what I'm also hoping, and we have, is we've now got military access to Denmark. Yes, the Crucible, which is Sweden's first 30 to 50 years. Yeah, very much so. In fact, Novgorod still hasn't got any friends, so I think we're going to go full YOLO on this and declare war on Novgorod at the same time. Why are we getting negative effects from that? Oh, because we took military access to them. Which we don't actually need now. Let's, oh, they're marching through. The Teutons are marching through, I assume. That's very annoying. In fact, actually, what we're going to do is, let's go sit on there and let's just provoke these rebels and get them out of the way now. They're only 6k. Because we can provoke them to start. And they'll only be, is it 9k in strength? Kinspitzen! Thank you very much for follow. Oh, you can't provoke during a war, can you? Yeah, that's annoying. Oh well. We will statify that. We really need our legitimately terrible king to die. But he's not going to die, because that would be the game being too nice to us. Handily, we now don't have to go to war with Novgorod. Because the Livonian Order did us an absolute solid there. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why they did it, and I totally appreciate that they did it for that reason. Renaissance has spawned. Yeah, we'll do that. Right, here come the Livonians, so let's... And the other problem is we're probably a mil-tech behind by this point, thanks to our legitimately fucking terrible ruler. But 19k versus 9k should still be a win for us. So let's chase down and murder this army. So we should get some more claims in. We're going to put a claim in on White Karelia. So you guys could at least do us justice and murder the king. So Lithuanians are doing Lithuanian things. Poles are failing to do anything useful. Well, I don't know, they're sieging stuff down over here. Verden, you can indeed peace out. We're going to repay that loan because we're technically running a profit now. Our Swedish noble rebels are back up to 18k, but I mean that's the nature of it. Danish separatist is the one I'm more worried about. So we have won a siege. They should swarm in there. I think they will lose, but they'll do some damage while they're over there. Depends when those 5k get in time. Nah, they didn't. Let's not listen to this. So we might have to buy down those noble rebels, and I really don't want to. The White Shadow 54, thank you very much for the follow. Do you still have to watch for supply? Yes, you do. As Wakasa says, you need to just kind of be aware that, like, so for example, you see the little skull here? We're taking attrition because we're in foreign land and we have more troops than we should really have in this army, in that land. Our army is too big for that area to sustain, even if we're occupying it. The little fucker. That guy is going to ruin our days, something chronic. Right, we're going to pull this army back, because they're going to smash them and they've got more troops coming in. So we'd lose if we helped with that. We're a Miltech down. So we're just going to run off and deal with this little asshole. Now we could do with reducing our war exhaustion, because that would reduce our things, but the good news is that Poland's doing bits over here. So this war will turn in our favour. It's just hard early on. Do you play with all the DLC enabled or just some? I have all the DLC. Don't even know how he got over here. Did he land? He must have actually landed troops, which is just ridiculous. Because once Poland's taken all of this territory, now they should give us control of Danzig, but they probably won't. If not, we have options. Mazovia is running around with a 3-star general, which is ridiculous. Oh, can you just not, in size 1 armies, just not be an arsehole? Because they're going to run around here, but hopefully they'll start diving back because they realise they've got to defend the homeland. Can you just not? And then we are, I think, going to have to go and try and deal with these Swedish noble rebels. Who could now theoretically pop anywhere. Wakasa, thank you very much for the follow. That is appreciated. Don't forget, new followers, we do have a Discord. We do have a Discord, and on the Discord we do multiplayers and everything else. Excellent, they did give us Danzig. Now we are actually going to hold out on this, because we want Never out of the Livonian Order. Also, what I'd much rather do if we can is give Poland some of this territory, rather than the coastal territory around here. The main issue is I'm not sure whether this is going to burst now. Yeah, so they have given us control of Danzig, which is perfect. The main issue we've got at the moment is because Poland knows that they're doing all the work here. Which means they are going to want lots of things in the peace. But the nice thing with the EU4 is we've got much more flexibility in the peace options. So we should be able to balance their interests with ours and still work out. Because we don't really want a lot of territory down here. We literally just do, over time, probably Danzig and Königsberg. They went to Stockholm. That's actually useful for us, because that means they've got to siege down the fort. No, go this way round, thank you. Because I do not want to be attacking an army via a sea crossing when I don't need to. Let's tell... Is that a 3 or a 2? It's a 2. Let's tell the Mazovians to go deal with that. Because the nice thing is, because we're in a war, these chaps are going to attach to us. Or should do, because we've said allow attachments. Which means when we fight these rebels, we will actually be going in with our allies as well. So they're going to wait in Hälsingland for them to catch up. And this is also fine at the moment, because the fort is up, and we've got military access via Denmark. Guys, no, down here, please. Down, attach on us, please. Please. Guys. Beulah. Right, we're going to have to go in and hope that we win this. Has Paradox fixed the Native American start since Leviathan? I think they did. I think they sorted it in the last patch. Right, would really like it if you'd come in and help here. And they are, that's great. And then run down and deal with them while we can. So we've got sieges going on here. Now they're sending troops round to do nasty things to us up here, but that's fine. We also want to claim on there. I do desperately want this Muscovy alliance. We can finally tech up to level 4, which is not great, but it's better than what we were. And we've killed both our major rebellions. So when these 2 sieges finish, we're going to start piecing people out. Because these chaps are sieging down our provinces, but I'd rather not fight them because we're out of manpower. Which is not good news for us. But forts are worth far more than just random crappy little provinces, so as soon as this fort falls, we should probably look at what we can piece out to get. We do have trustworthy allies, so the dip rep is quite useful at the moment, so we will take that. Oh, I think Riga just ambushed the Holstein army in our territory. Teutons are getting smashed around again by the Poles. Have it generated any favours we can use for manpower? Probably. But I doubt England has any at the moment. And to be honest, at this stage, I'm more likely to use them for money. No, England would give us some. Yeah, let's go for that. Recently, people have begun to doubt the legitimacy of our reign. We need to remind them of our right to rule. Because we do have terrible legitimacy. Legitimacy is here, by the way. Glory to our ancestors. Build the biggest monument thinkable, which would lose us a ton of money, but we'd get 20 legitimacy and 20 prestige. I think we will do that. Because the 20 prestige is worth it, if nothing else. Right, this war is definitely won. So what we want to start doing is start thinking about what we can get, because it's running at 97%. So what you're going to see here is the moment I take Danzig, you see all these little green things here. It means that everyone else in this war feels they're getting, if the peace deal was offered like this, they feel like they're getting their fair share of the contribution. The moment I click this, Poland is going to get annoyed. Because they're saying, hang on, we've got 95% of the war score contribution here. So we demand something in this peace. Now what I'd really like to do is give them territory over here. And we probably can do, because Lithuania is their vassal. So they will accept, they do see the value, not as much as if I gave them land directly, but they do see the value in me boosting Lithuania. But I also want to get Neva. And I kind of also want to get Ingerman land. Because it stops the Muscovites getting it. But we are pushing for that Muscovite alliance, so maybe we just stick with Neva at the moment. Now, because I'm now taking more territory, the Poles are a bit annoyed again. So we need to give them some more. So if we give them that as well, now they only hate us by 6. I think we can give them Kulm. Now they're down to 4. The question is whether we give them anything else around here. And I feel we can give them Tuchel, potentially. No, they're not particularly happy with that. What if we gave them Osterode? I can't take all the monies because we need Poland to not be pissed off. Because I'd really like to not lose that Polish alliance right now. Because I'll be very useful again in our next war against Denmark. I don't even mind them having Marienburg. I mean, trust by 2 we could manage. Because that shouldn't break the alliance. Like, honestly, all we care about here is the coastline because for its trade value. So the green ones are the ones that are in some way being taken in the peace deal. But who they go to depends on the colour you've got here. So I can take Danzig and I can take Never because they're blue. They've got the blue crossed lines, which means I'm the occupation. I either occupied them or the occupation was given to me. Any of these ones striped in pink would go to Poland, and any of these ones striped in kind of red would go to Lithuania. So, at the moment, we're taking Danzig. We're giving Tuchel, Marienburg, Kulm, Osterode, Ortelsburg to Poland, and we're taking Never. And understandably, they are saying, well, hang on, I did 95% of the work here. But still. We could see if we want to give them Neumark, which would screw with Brandenburg, because Brandenburg gets an event to get them back. I think the problem is we're stuck on -2 as a trust. I don't think we can give them anything if we're taking both Never and Danzig that's going to make them absolutely like us. But maybe we do that. -2 shouldn't break the alliance. Thing is, even if it does break the alliance, it increases our chance of getting a Muscovy alliance, so I'd just like to get one more war out of Poland where we manage to drag them in against the Danes, because that would be really useful, because they've got lots of armies. I think we go with this. So they should be slightly annoyed, but not super annoyed. And we do have 10 favours, so we could actually, if it says it's going to break the alliance, we'll just boost trust. Because we do have enough favours to trade for trust if it comes down to it. So we'll just see if it's going to say that the alliance is going to break. But now we do have 2 more bits of territory that we need to core. In fact, we have 3, because technically we still need to make Skane a core again. So this is a problem for us. So we need to not declare any wars for a little while. Because the other thing we'll be picking up is aggressive expansion. So what we need to keep an eye on is if that Muscovy too many diplomatic relations falls, which it should do, we could theoretically get a Muscovy alliance just by cancelling our alliance with Poland. But we are at least now generating a profit. And it may actually be worth us going with a production efficiency guy. Because I think if we're boosting Dallas Kogan, that will benefit us anyway, because it'll boost our production efficiency there. Because every little helps while we're trying to core this. Our war exhaustion is finally dropping. It's going to drop by -10 a month, so we're 60 odd months off of having no war exhaustion. I'd like to get another cog. So let's go up to speed 4 while we're not doing anything. But Muscovy is who we're watching. Because I would dearly love to get a Muscovite alliance. Yes! Our terrible king died. Our old king has decided to die a little too soon. Oh dear, how sad. Our heir is not quite ready to assume the role of king. Ulrika Eleonora will now be ruling our kingdom until our heir comes of age. Unlike a regency council, we will still be able to declare wars. That is honestly the best possible outcome for us. She's good. Look at that. She's a 3-4-4. And we're going to have her for at least 6 years? 8 years. And then even he's better than what we had. And we're not going to get any of the really shitty negative events you get for having a terrible king. Thank God. Does having a 3-4-4 mean your heir will get better stats as he grows up? No, because it's not quite as nuanced as CK3 is in that regard. So you don't quite get the benefits in the same way. We might get an event that says, oh, like your heir is being educated, do you want to boost his intelligence, his skills or stuff like that? In which case we will take that, but... I mean, do we do a quick war with Novgorod? We probably shouldn't. We are still quite fragile and we don't really need to, because we can go for those territories. When does Muscovy's alliance with, or truce with Novgorod end? Right, 1464. We need to try and get an alliance with Muscovy before 1464. When does our truce with Denmark expire? 1458. So we can squeeze in a war with Denmark before we go for a war. Before we try and get our Muscovy alliance. We would have a few years to try and do that. So Denmark is currently losing a war. They picked a fight with, I think, the Livonian Order while we were at war with them. So Danish conquest of Ozel. Which the Teutons didn't come in on. Which has broken their alliance. So ironically, we could actually now ally the Livonian Order if we wanted to, but we don't want to. So these are the other people we could ally with. Like we could get Brandenburg, which would be potentially quite useful. If Brandenburg grow a tiny bit more, then we will grab a Brandenburg alliance. We have kind of cock-blocked them in Poland, but we can uncock-block them if we need to. At least we can start coring these things now. I think the Iberian wedding has just fired. Which means that Castile now has Aragon as a vassal. England is still struggling with its War of the Roses. We will gain loyalty, we're not losing stuff. Now actually, I think we would be of value here doing this. Because we have loans to pay off. We currently have 5 loans. But so we want to do that and sell them off. But what we're going to do first is let's see if we can... So we could... If we hold off until we've called the... No, let's not hold off. Let's not gamble. So we're going to do that. They want base tax in Abo at least 5. Yeah, we'll do that. It's easy enough to do. If we now sell our tithes... So we're now going to get a negative... Because we control less than 30% crown land. We're now going to get a negative tax modifier, but that's fine. Because it does mean we can now seize land. So we're only just under. And we'll get that back next time. But at least it means we have a ton of cash, which means we can actually blitz paying off our loans. Which has essentially pushed us back up to roughly the same income level, but now we're carrying a hell of a lot less debt, which means we're not going to be picking up as much inflation. I think that's a net win for us. It also means we can get another cog. We will continue our royal marriage with England. I don't think we do have one with Poland. This is the alliance we really, really want. We could lower maintenance on the army, but frankly what I'd much rather do is drill them. If we drill the army, we'll get benefits, because we're making a profit. We're making 2 gold a turn. We do need to dev into Renaissance soon, but we're going to get this core first. I'd kind of rather tech up to 5 before we do that. At least in military. What we should actually do as well, I think we've just about got time to get it in. Muscovy's going to attach Kazan, so that's fine. While playing Sweden, I used the Polish alliance to smash Muscovy and get Novgorod. Certainly a way of doing it. Absolutely a way of doing it. It sort of depends on how much expansion you want to do as well. Because I'm quite happy to draw the Swedish border here. And shove a couple of giant forts here. Then turn round and... so turn around, smash a couple of forts here. Then also take defensive ideas and just make it so that if anyone has to come round the landway to get to us, they just have to bleed massively to do it. Right, we can run our final core. I'd also quite like to get Norway as a subject. The problem is we're not going to hit that point because we're not generating this. I think third war I'd like to get Norway as a subject if we can. That's the one we want to keep going. This one we don't need. We are gradually building up some manpower again, which is useful. Come on, Muscovy. You're in a war now. You'd love an alliance with us. You'd love one, admit it. We're going to get a claim in on Shaland, which we need 35 for to do. So there goes our truce with Denmark. Carl Gustav's good education and natural charm have made him a more than appropriate option to the throne. Ulrika Laura's poor administration, however, has made Sweden resent its lack of stability. The government of a nation is as difficult and delicate as collecting roses without touching a single thorn, and sometimes one is just not born with it. Maybe we could use one of those forms. I'd quite like to not kill her, as she is quite good. Right, she didn't die, so that's good. So we are going to want to go to war with Denmark. Poland we can spend favours to drag into the war. That is going to bring in Norway, Holstein, Dithmarschen and Wolgast. but we can... the poles will make short work of all of them. And we just have to kind of play our sort of slightly running around game until we're ready. We can actually take 2 more units, so I think we will do that and that. But we're going to hold off, because I'd much rather get a claim on Shayland. Although that said, we're not going to be able to get it anyway, because we don't have a navy. So we're probably actually better off declaring for this anyway. We do need to start paying for that fort, though. So we're probably better off just declaring for something like Blecking or Haaland. A lot of EU4 is thinking diplomatically and thinking about when do truces expire, when do alliances expire. How do we get more alliances? Well, I mean, we've got Skane already. But linking these up would be nice, and these are things we can occupy. So yeah, what we do is we declare for this territory down here, then we'd grab the Norwegian forts, which would give us the war score to be able to take them. And then we don't worry about the Danish mainland stuff, apart from when the Poles sweep round and they'll do damage. Oh, you mean as the region? Yes, yeah, no, absolutely. Because what we kind of want is a quick war. What we really just want to do is reset the truce timer. Because we actually want to get one more Teutonic Order war in and get hold of Königsberg, ideally. Because if we have to drop the Polish alliance after that, then at least we're set, and we've got the territory around here that we really want. Muscovy have only rivaled Poland, like the one person we didn't want them to rival, which is why the only reason we can't get an alliance with them is because of that. If it wasn't for that, we'd be able to cheese the rest of it. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break, because I need the loo, and I'm going to get a drink while I'm doing it. Yeah, Muscovy ruining our day. And don't worry if you hear banging, as I say, that's just my getting the patio door done. But I will be back in a second. BRB. Right, sorry, I'm back. I've been examining our new cat flap. We have a cat flap in the door now. And the reason I could hear extra banging is because they are currently sorting out the fact that my front door scrapes along the floor a bit because it's expanded in the damp. So there is bonus activity going on downstairs. But good bonus activity. Which is nice. Right, where were we? We were contemplating war. Well, that's the thing, is next door's cat is going to be sitting there going, about bloody time you got a cat flap fitted. It's like, no, it's not for you. It's not for you. So one thing we could do is rival Novgorod, because we'd be kind of stupid not to. Still gives us a spare rivalry slot. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's brilliant. He also got the glass cut for my to replace the one that on my side of my PC, which is nice. But he's enjoying himself down there, so I'm not going to stop him. To a certain extent, these are all things I could do myself, but I can't do myself because it's that whole thing of you need the tools. Tensions between nobility and clergy. In our nation, two castes hold great power, the nobility and clergy, however they do not always get along. Recently a baron in Nyland and the local monastery of his fief began bickering about who owns a rather large piece of land. Do we mind the papal state hating us? I don't think we particularly do. I'd rather get that than noble rebels. Because I think this actually means we can declare a restraint of repeals. Which would annoy Poland. But Poland like us enough that I don't think it... Yeah, it wouldn't cost us our alliance. And it's going to give us, until the end of the game, gives us national unrest, stability cost cheaps, prestige and clergy loyalty. It's just good value. Well, I mean, as I say, I can do them. It's tool access. Like I have the computer tools. I don't really have an extensive range of woodworking tools. Whereas he's downstairs shaving bits off the door and doing everything else. And I'm not going to object to that. Just means you might get a little bit of banging on the stream while they're doing some chiseling. Right, so our army is building up to its max. I feel like we should drag Poland into a very quick war here with Denmark. Even as a shadow. After surviving the attempt to harm her physical integrity, Ulrika Eleonora has started to feel consumed by what she may call caution, whilst others may refer to it using less present words. She has started to avoid social events, leaving the rest of the council alone to govern her whole nation. Her flagrant lack of responsibility has raised many suspicions among the court, however. What has greatly deteriorated the public opinion of Ulrika Eleonora is the strange behaviour that she has been exhibiting lately, her eyes red and wide open in the middle of the night, muttering in the darkness that she shall never leave the throne, asking for someone to come at her even as a shadow, even as a dream. So, we get a 50% chance of the regency extending for 50 years, for 5 years, or she dies, or we lose stability and get the extension extended. I think we want, but she's better than our future ruler anyway. Like, so, but neither of those options is bad for us. Drag Poland into this war for favours and against Teutons for land. Yeah, I think that's probably what we'll do. What we do need to do is start fabricating on the Teutons. The main issue is I still want that Muscovy alliance, if it's at all possible. Otherwise we're going to have to go all in on our Polish alliance. Because in the next war with Novgorod... Novgorod might get an Ottoman alliance. If Novgorod gets an Ottoman alliance, we're absolutely laughing. Because we just can leave them for ages. Novgorod is a improving opinion of Ottomans. But the Ottomans haven't rivaled Muscovy, so it's probably not going to help them. Are you going for the Sweden is overpowered achievement? No, theoretically could do. To be honest, what we'll probably do with this is... This was mostly because I don't want to start a new CK3 run before Christmas. So we've got the Stellaris runs on Monday. And we've got a campaign going, but we know what our next CK3 one is for Sundays. I mean, I could potentially continue this off stream for Sweden as OP achievement, because I don't think I have it. And for that you just need to control all the Baltic coasts, which is totally doable. Right, let's get this Denmark war underway. Because we can drag in Poland. Poland can deal with all of those fools. I mean, the other thing we could use this for is a way of getting Stralsund in future. The slightly harder is the one where you have to lead the Protestant League to victory over the Emperor. I've actually done that one. That's really fun. That's the Lion from the North achievement, isn't it? Which is absolutely great. I love Lion from the North. Right, we're going to go to war for the cheapest one of these. Blecking. Because this really is as much about a truce reset as anything else. What I am going to do is wait 1 month so we can stick a claim in on Shaylin, because you never know. Stranger things have happened. As soon as that diplomat gets back... Take Blecking. We can get on that war goal straight away. No idea where the Danish army is. I think some of it's over here at least. So that's good for us because we can just go smack them around. They are locked into there, so let's just go murder them quickly. Poland, if you would care to deal with them. And who else is in this war? Dithmarschen. Yeah, if you can go deal with Dithmarschen as well. We could potentially vassalize Dithmarschen in this war. We will keep doing that. We will extend the Regency for 5 years. Now, if we're really lucky, Poland will go deal with that for us. Which is kind of what I was hoping would happen. Does mean we're going to get separatism, but whatever. They are absolutely determined to kill off Eleonora. Right, now we can go deal with the Holstein and Danish army. England has finally completed the War of the Roses. Who did they get? Mary Tuberville. Mary Tuberville. Regency for Charles I, age 9. Feel free to report and block the bot. Bot. Bottom block. Josh 905 subscribed at tier 1. Thank you very much. Very grateful. Did you not get an announcement for that? Or did I just not hear it? So we'll get Wolgast out of this war pretty quickly. Right. Can we stop? We can't stop them joining. We might lose this. Because they're going to have higher mill tech than us. It's going to be close. Oh, we just won that. We are the best. Now, the little Norway army is doing shitty things up here again, but that's fine. We are going to live in, like, perpetual regencies. So the nice thing is we are absolutely smacking the Danes around here. Let's drop this down to 3 while we're at war. Right, we want him to lock. Thank you. Pretty certain this event is bugging out slightly because it shouldn't be getting that much amount. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why you didn't get a an announcement there. Right, we can take our first reform. I think realistically we want national manpower modifier more than taxes. Taxes we can build up. I also strongly suspect we actually have enough war score to peace out this war already. Go and deal with our rebels. So that we don't have to fight them. Notice they fought the Danzig ones as well. Like, if nothing else, this was really useful as a way of getting someone else to control our rebels. Right, I think probably... Peace, a Holstein free? They are. Oh, they won't go for a vassalization. That would be lovely. Holstein would be a brilliant vassal to have around here. Like, the ideal one is Lübeck, but Lübeck's really hard to get. Exactly, vassal to feed Denmark to. Because then we could just feed this to them. Right, we've got a year until the Teutonic Order. Peace treaty is up. So we could peace out with Blecking. I I'd rather peace out with Haaland. Can we get war reps as well? We can't get war reps as well. 14%. If that siege falls before Skana does, then we will. Right, we just got the occupation on that. That'll do it. Gotland is our core, but the issue is it's got a fort on it. So we'll get a we won't be able to take it because it'll be like, no, you haven't taken any forts in the area. So look. We'll get like minus 1,000 on that. The other option would be which would be nice, is we take Stralsund, but I don't think that's happening. We're only minus 2 now on getting the connection, and is that war reps as well? And war reps is essentially we're going to get 10% of Denmark's income for a long time, which would be useful for us. I mean, that said, they've moved troops away from there. The issue we've got is their soldiers are better than our soldiers. If they carry on going around there, we will be able to beat that army. And that'll knock them off the siege, which then gives us more time to achieve things. You can see why I didn't want to fight an equal fight on this, because I knew we'd lose. We might have a shout at Bahulsen now. Oh no, we won't get it in time. Got an Anbanar MP. Oh yeah, the fantasy mod. I still need to try that out. I might try that out over Christmas. Right, I think we piece this out. We let Poland take that territory back because we are very low on manpower again. They're sieging back Dithmarschen. And we want to make sure we have got enough aggressive expansion cap for Königsberg, which we need to declare in October 1461. We could take... I mean, Holstein is the better vassal, but that would coalition us. The other thing we could do is give Stop to the Poles. I don't think taking ducats is going to be that useful to us. Oh, we'd get half of it. We would get half of the ducats. Presumably we've done enough in war score with fighting. So we could take that province, which joins us up. So let's clear offer. So we could take War Reps Harland, so that links that territory up, so we haven't got to worry as much about being able to get there to do fights and things there. Ooh, we can get Bahulsen as well. That's an instant, because that's a fort. And I think we've got a claim on that. I think we do that, and then we see how much gold we can get out of them. Not a lot, but every little helps us at this stage. 44. I think we do that. Because that's going to give us the expand Sweden one, which is going to give us local dev cost, which is going to be very useful in a second. Because the moment we hit these next texts, we're deving up. I don't want the random American national anthem playing. Kind of want like... So we want instrumentals. What about genres? So we want classical, instrumentals, moods, epic. I'm confused. Didn't you have triple the numbers of Denmark with Poland as an ally? How did we only take 2 provinces? I did. But this is situational. So, I have an aggressive expansion to worry about. We have a truce with the Teutonic Order that is coming up in 1461. I would like to get at least one more war out of Poland before we potentially drop them for a Muscovy alliance if we can get one. We could get a Muscovy alliance if I dropped the Polish alliance. I'm pretty certain we could. We could probably even get the Polish alliance back afterwards. And juggle both. They do, but they won't for long, because they'll integrate something. I'd have thought relatively quickly. They'll integrate one of these. And actually, if you think of the maths on this, so if we get rid of the Muscovite Malus, we're down to minus 19. Minus 19 would be flipped by them losing 1 dip relation, or by us increasing our army strength, or if we picked up a diplomatic advisor, that would give us +4, which would drop us to minus 14, and minus 14 is under the point, I think, where if we scornfully insulted Poland, they'd come back on board, and we'd then get the Muscovy alliance. So it is possible for us to get in range of a Muscovite alliance. But the big problem we've got is aggressive expansion. So we were never really going to be able to take more than 2 provinces there anyway, because the more provinces you take in a Europa Universalis, the more something called aggressive expansion you generate. So if I flip to this map view, you can see that currently Novgorod has an aggressive expansion of -2 against me. Other countries will have more, so Denmark has minus 31, Volgost has minus 21, minus 17, minus 18. We want to get a war with the Teutons done where we can get Königsberg. Königsberg is going to dump a ton of AE on us because it is quite large proportionally, and it's got a trade hub and it got good gems. So I wanted to make sure I was leaving enough aggressive expansion cap for us to get that, but also making sure that what wasn't going to happen is that Poland wasn't going to independently declare a war on the Teutons before we got a chance to declare a war on the Teutons. Because I want to drag Poland into this war again, which they will do if we promise them territory. I'm pretty convinced if we promise them territory, they will come in with us. So in 1461 we're going to war with the Teutons. Pretty certain it's 61. Oh no, it's 1470, so we do have time. That's fine then, because it allows my manpower to build back up. Because I don't have any manpower. One of the most interesting things for Anbanar is each race has a military based around them as well as administration based around them. Yeah, see, I've been enjoying watching Mordred. Mordred's been doing an Anbanar run, which has been fun to watch. The other thing to note is I don't want too many provinces at the moment because I'm burning through admin as it is, and I'm still only on admin tech frickin' 3? So I'm still on admin 3. So there isn't an argument for saying that now is the perfect time to take a slight breather in the conquests, consolidate the position a bit, worry about Königsberg. We could go to war with Novgorod if we really wanted to, but I want my manpower back up. We also still need to tech up. Yeah, sure, if you really want that 6 ducats off me, England, you absolutely can have those 6 ducats. Denmark has rivaled us, which is useful. I'm kind of hoping Muscovy will pick another rival, and it'll be Denmark. Really like our war exhaustion to tick down. But I want us up because we're not getting any Age of Discovery bonus points. I think we probably do need to boost Stockholm. We are generating gold now, so I think we will boost Stockholm before we boost Dallas Kogan. So let's put you on dev cost now. Let's do that, and then you're going to have trade. Poland's integrated Muscovia, because Poland's probably going to start hating us at a certain point anyway because we've got Königsberg. We do need to boost Abo up to phase 5, you're right. There you go, now the clergy are happy and that's a bit more prestige. Yeah, we're playing trade though, so we could switch to capital, but we're going to end up spending a ton of admin to switch to capital. So it's like, what I'd kind of rather do is dev up Stockholm. And then boost Dallas Kogan for colonialism. The other thing is we can take this, which is going to give us local dev cost cheaper. But I want the mill tech before we do it. I'm less fussed about the other techs at the moment because we're just not in a position to maximise the benefit of them. But we do want the mill tech. We don't need to be paying for these forts at the moment because rebels are low and we've got truces with these. What I'd really like to do is take Norway as a subject in the next war with Denmark. And for that we're going to need to get to the first age bonus so we can get transfer subjects. Let's pay off our debts before we do anything else. I don't like having the loans hanging over us. National tax, clergy, we can afford the clergy loss, so we will. Probably a heretic. Karl's regency ends soon, but the nice thing about that is it does mean there's a strong claim. The other thing we should probably do now is do this again. Let's get ourselves over our crown land minimums. Right, they're not drilling, so that's fine. There's none of these that we can... We could take another mission. Is any of these missions going to be easy enough to do? Ireland base tax 3. Manpower 1 we're never going to get. We're never going to get up to 75% of the base limit. Let's go with base tax 3. That means that when we hit this button here, they're now on 50%, so they won't be unhappy. Oh, those Danzig ones are going to be fucking annoying. They should move though, because they're particularists. With the union of Karl VIII, Gustav and Ulrika Eleonora, we have gained not only a spouse but also a new ally in the realm. The Sture is an old and influential family in their seat in Skane. It's a jewel of the kingdom. Of course, the friendship has to go both ways. Wait, what? Can we stop getting terrible heirs, please? Also, she must be, like, ancient by now. We did get a tech discount now, which is nice. Did he just marry his mother? I feel like he just married his mother. It was his regent, but she was the queen regent. Jewel of the kingdom, my arse. Well, she did just give us some free mill points, so that's nice. Right, we can take the mill tech. So we are going to take the mill tech. And now we are going to burn points on deving up Stockholm. But we're going to push everything on admin first. Because admin is our most precious, so we want to get that up to 10. And then we'll worry about pushing the others. These chaps are going to move. Where are they going to go? Kalmar. Cool. We'll see you in Kalmar, lads. Oldenburg wants an alliance. Let's assume that's not happening. I mean, is there anyone else big we could get into an alliance? Because then we wouldn't need Muscovy. Not really. Austria would be the ideal, but that's not going to happen. I'm not going to get the Ottomans. Let's do what you should never do and upgrade our units. You've now got to go fight those dudes with no Tell you what, lads, wait there until you've got your morale back. Let's give you another month here and then you can go in. Now go kill them. Then we want to knock off 3 of those and send them to Danzig. The rest of you chaps can go there. So we are generating gold now, which is good. We are reliably generating cash. Let's ditch another loan. Because we will have some rebels, but not huge rebel problems. Are light ships protecting trade no longer a thing, or are they just as not? No, they absolutely are a thing. The main problem is we just haven't been able to afford to build any yet. But we're getting there on that. Don't think it's worth us taking high income yet. I want this up to 12. I mean... Oh, Renaissance is in Skane, so there you go, that's perfect. Oh, don't give me random stab hits, you bastards. There's like no reason for that. Stupid game. Because now we're going to have a looming Peasants' War disaster. Because fuck this game, that's why. We need to get that up to 1, so that's going to put a curb on our... So actually we might as well just boost the rest of it up. Housing land. Go deal with them. Helping our armies defeat the Danish rule over our country and being a formidable contributor to the Swedish uprising, Sten Gustafsson has become an irreplaceable piece in our nation's military as well as its politics. So much so that even his uncle, King Carl VIII, has decided to appoint him as regent during his multiple absences. It's not too long before discordance of opinions appeared among the different estates about this critical reason. I am not taking a 1-1-1 fucking ruler as with a strong claim. Like, if you're going to at least like give him some decent stats, if you're going to make me try and take him. I'll just take the extra unrest for now. Because, like, if he had decent stats, I'd think about it, but... To be honest, what we should actually do, whilst we're in a relative period of stability, we've got a bunch of rebels about to fire. Let's let the rebels fire first. This is going to be a problem. It should only be creeping up slowly though, so we should make it in time. Burghers are going to lose more loyalty. It's fine. They're haters already. And that's, I think, our final loan gone. Which means we're now cooking with gas. We've got a production guy. Could take a mill. Or a spy network. Or maybe we just actually bank some cash and then spend it on some ships. That's probably better. Let's get our trade fleet going. Are you going Protestant? Oh yes, we will be Protestant. Royal Marriage of Poland has ended. We'll take another one from now. Novgorod has rivaled us. They are allied with Theodora. Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. If they ditch just one of those diplomatic relationships, we'll be fine. How are they not integrating one of these vassals yet? Right, we need one more stab boost to deal with this. So we need to basically be at stability 1. Utrecht is going to attack Gelra. Do not want to be allied to Scotland. We have decent prestige at the moment, which is nice. France is gradually consolidating. England and France have been pretty stable. Good for them. Good for us. Right, let's start knocking out a couple of ships. Now we want barks because we're more concerned with trade than we are beating Denmark at sea, at least at the moment. We could put in a claim on Memel just because we can. The main issue is Muscovy is going to declare a war on Novgorod. I'm surprised they haven't already. Oh, Novgorod got a Denmark alliance. That's good news for us. That might sort us out. That might have just saved us. So that's perfect, because that'll mean that either Muscovy will be too scared to declare war on Novgorod, or they'll declare on them, drag Denmark in, give Denmark an absolute shoeing, and then we'll just leap on them. Score, but you redeemed a histofact, and I missed that. I think a Swedish-related histofact. I'm trying to think of a decent Swedish-related histofact. Oh no, I'll give you a Hungary-related histofact. Hungary, Budapest has the second oldest telephone network in the world, because that's because Alexander Graham Bell's assistant was Hungarian, and the moment he'd finished doing stuff in England, he went back to Hungary and set up the Budapest telephone network. There is a fantastic telephone museum in Budapest, and it's hidden inside one of their civil service buildings, so you have to properly go in to find it, but it is so worth it if you go there. Go to the telephone museum, it's fantastic. Yeah, we will probably go Protestant relatively quickly when it starts to kick off. When the Reformation kicks off in about 1520 or so, we will go Protestant very, very early. Right, we're starting to get a little navy together, so let's get some more barks out. We should boost that up again. Because that will at least stop peasant rebellion from growing. We can do that. We can do that. We can do that. So at least that means now that we're going to tick up faster on here. Because we've got a large city of at least 30. How are we looking in Renaissance terms? 79%. So a little bit more boosting and we'll get that out. We'll boost in dip on this because that's what's more important to us. But now we do have that fleet. We are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're basically spending Danish gold to do this. Because they're still paying us war reps. How are we looking on Polish favours? We are well set for Polish favours. Yeah, the masked murder of Gustav III is my favourite. Basically just like, yeah, multiple masked assassins. I'm pretty certain that's the basis for the event that you get like that in CK3. So with luck, we'll actually be able to call them in on this Teutonic Order War without having to promise them land, which would be nice. Right, Norwegian separatists are going to kick off in... Would that be Bohuslän? Bohuslän. This is a long A, isn't it? Is the dots a long A or the dots a short A? I can never remember. Right, let's provoke this rebellion. Because we'll win. And it gets out of the way. Denmark has enforced the sound toll, you shits. We will have our revenge. We can now actually reduce autonomy there as well. We're going to get 7k Danish separatists in Harland, so we'll do the same thing there. Muscovy has declared war on Novgorod. Did Denmark not come in? Denmark didn't come in. Fuck you, Denmark. Danes continuing to ruin our day. Traitorous Danes. That's probably going to tank our ability to get a Muscovy alliance. Because we'll probably end up sharing a border. And they've got a permanent claim on that. It's not the end of the world, but just makes life a bit harder for us. Yeah, we'll try and steal a cardinal. Right, that is our truce with Denmark up. They want 35 in exchange for favours. I have to decline because we don't have 35 at the moment. This truce is up in 1470. Livonian Order in Mecklenburg, so that's fine. So we're back up to full strength here, so let's provoke the Danish rebels as well. Stability. Provoke. Can we not provoke these? Oh, are they already dipping? Oh, nice, they're dipping, so that's fine. Because we could do a whole ton of lowering autonomy, but I don't really want to at the moment. What I want to do is get these chaps over to here ready for our war. And then we're going to very quickly just spam out and try and siege down everything around here. Because we will get Poland in. They are fighting in another war though. Who are they at war with? No, you're not. You got rebels, but that's it. Oh no, it's just a truce. It's fine. Yeah, we can overcome that. England's in another war. England is in a war with Burgundy, I assume? Burgundy, Flanders and Holland. Which does annoyingly mean they're probably going to get invaded by France at some point. Right, so we've got our navy up to... We've still got navy caps, so let's get some more ships into here. I think we'll leave it there and the rest will bank as cash. How's our income looking? Are we still getting war reps? So we're getting 1 gold in war reps, so we could actually afford an advisor. And that is the advisor we want. Because we're still behind on admin, and that's going to do us very nicely. Are we free? We are indeed free. We are free, and we're allied to Poland and England. We were hoping to get Muscovy, but that looks like... Oh, hang on! Muscovy, give me a royal marriage. -6, we can get past -6. How are we getting past -6? Royal marriage will increase us slightly. Swedish army strength. We can increase army strength. Well, we've already got Neva, which is why I really want... So the thing is, I'm pretty certain that if we can get the alliance with Muscovy before they finish this war with Novgorod, then we might be able to hold on to it, even if we have to drop Poland. And I'd rather drop Poland and keep Muscovy than the other way around. Like, in an ideal world. Right, we can't insult Poland because Poland are our ally. So we need another 7. We could burn a ton of gold on a dip rep guy. That's going to give us what? +4? Is it +4 that gives us? Which would push us to -3. So how do we overcome a -3 gap quickly? We can build another couple of units into our army, which would help. Because we've got another space for another 4 units. Right, whatever we're going to do is going to require us to take a loan. So let's take a loan. We can technically afford... No, we can't, just about can't afford to deal with him. But we can't insult, because the only people we could insult is Poland, who are our ally. Because that's who they hate. Unless... How much does a scornful insult drop? Yeah, Great Horde's an enemy, but they're not a rival. So it would drop -100. Which would give us +47. Which is still strong enough, I think. Yeah, the penalty allied to rival would then drop us to -3 on our Polish alliance, which wouldn't hold. We can improve relations. We could also scornfully insult Hungary. Like, we're swimming in prestige. That knocks us up to plus 172. Because we don't even need the dip advisor if we... Because scornfully insulted them, the enemy gives us plus 25, which would be enough. I mean, the thing is, if it happens, the main cost to us is we lose our Polish alliance. But we'll have the Muscovy one, which I think is stronger for us in the long term anyway. If we do that, we just instantly rival Poland anyway, and then that makes Muscovy love us even more. This is what I love about EU4, by the way, is to just these extra sort of long-term Muscovy is real estate you really want, considering Novgorod feeds into the Baltic Sea. Yeah, but I don't. I'm quite happy to stop there. Like, we'll get that. They won't take this in the war, they'll take this bit, because they still need to take Novgorod itself. And I can always, once I'm powerful enough, come back for Muscovy. But in the short to mid game, Muscovy being my friend is more important than Poland being my friend. So I do want the Polish alliance for one more war, so that we can get Königsberg. But we've got favours with them. We're about to fire that off. I mean, the other thing we can do, so we can raise another 5 units. Because we only have to until this war finishes. So whatever we do, we've got to do before this war finishes. Because at that point they will flip hostile to us. Fuck me, my burgers hate me. I think we gamble on the Polish alliance holding. My last visit to the Commode was vastly more enjoyable than dinner with the Polish ambassador. That... Oh, we're just below the advisor now. Take another loan. It's annoying. Oh well. Plus that gets us that. And then we need to slam someone on improved relations. I think it'll hold. Because it'd be very obvious here if they were flipping to hostile. But what we very much now need is improved relations in on 3rd. So we're just going to have to leave these two stuck on improved relations. Because we're essentially allied to 2 rivals now. And then as soon as we can, we need to ditch you, I'm afraid. You are costing us money. Let's take advantage of the fact that we've got a whole bunch more troops there now. Group you up. This expires in January 1470, so we need to declare it pretty much instantly. Because if we don't, the frickin' Poles will. Good morning, ambience. Is it morning? Where's the time? I have no idea what the time is. Someone tell me what the time is, because I can't see my taskbar. Oh, it's almost 2. Cool, we'll do a bit more of this. Ah, minus 19. We'd need to promise them land. How much does a favour boost get you in Prepare for War? Is it 15 or is it 20? It's 20, isn't it? We've got enough favours to test. Yep, it's enough. By 1. As soon as our diplomat gets back, we declare that. Would have been nice to get them onto the other side of the water first, but I just didn't want to risk Poland picking up a bit more debt or something. Because I think if that fort falls, they'd have been very reluctant to join. The good news is they're occupied around here, so actually what we can probably do is do that. Probably won't beat them to Memel. Oh, they moved out, the idiots. You fool, Poland! Let's give you a general before you wander in there. Have the guy with the massive amount of mobility, because then you will definitely get there first. Yep, we'll now move him on to there. Because he's got good siege, I think. Siege 2 is lovely. We should actually be saving up for Renaissance now. Because we are getting close to it here. Oh, we're not paying for Viborg. That's my bad. Oh, that's fucking annoying. Now watch them murder all our fleets. With any luck, they'll just sit on Stockholm. I thought we were paying for Viborg. I should have checked first. Poland finally dealt with their rebels though, so good news is we should get all of those armies coming in, and Königsberg has fallen. We might just want to piece this out. We can get what we want, I guarantee you. And they've clearly got a very good siege general running around over here. He's got 1 pit. We're losing money. So that's the first war since Denmark was defeated. I was absent for a moment. First war since we beat Denmark for the 2nd time. So we could get both Königsberg and Memel, which is what we want because of the trade power. Don't really need anything else. If you vassalise the Teutons, you can ask the Poles back for their cores, back for favours. Can you trade cores for favours? I didn't realise you could trade cores for favours. Oh yeah, I've legitimately never noticed that. What's Danzig's cause? Just Danzig. I don't think we've got enough war score to vassalise them and take them. Because that's 20 AE. Oh yeah, no, I know it needs SM3 for a coalition. But I want to vassalise Norway. I want to take Norway in the next war. It's more that we're not going to have the war score to do it. Like, they will not vassalise as well. They're minus 83 on a vassalisation. Ron Bertuan, very much for the follow. They're minus 83 on a vassalisation. We have no way of getting troops back to stop them besieging down Stockholm. So I think this is one of those ones where you take what you want now, because we'll get another war with them out of Poland. It's not a problem. So I think we take Königsberg and Memel. I'm quite happy for them to keep Ermland and Ottelsberg. And then we just come back for them the rest later. And yeah, maybe what we actually do, as you say, is we take... we vassalise them in the next war and then use favours over time to get Poland to give the cause back. I mean, I'm almost more inclined to use the same trick and vassalise Novgorod. We could vassalise Novgorod if we went to war with them now. And then we could use the same thing on Muscovy. Because then we've got Novgorod as a buffer state. I mean, we've got most of the war score at the moment, so we should get most of the gold, if we get gold out of them. Who's getting the 3 ducats? Teutonic Order will pay 3 ducats to Sweden, 6 ducats to Sweden and its allies, so at that point they get, Sweden get 5 of this. I know I could press Control to do this, but I'm leaning away. I'm leaning away from my keyboard. I think we do that because this is the valuable provinces to us. No, the Livonians wouldn't have wiped peace. We hadn't sieged down any of their forts. We'd only taken generic territory. The important thing is that's reset the truce timer. The relative strength of the alliances would have been big, but not as big as you think, because Muscovy wasn't in the war. Won't Poland and Lithuania hate you now? No, because we called them in via favours. Because we called them in via favours, they didn't want territory. Now, they're going to have a bit of a negative malice against this because they do have claims on this territory. In fact, they haven't got claims on Memel yet, so we're all right. So it'll only be... No, they haven't put claims on any of this territory yet. It's absolutely fine for now. Like, long term, one of these fuckers is going to come for us, but that's fine. But all we're really doing now is we're playing the old classic British thing. We're preserving the balance of power. So what we're just trying to do is we're playing these two off against each other for as long as we possibly can. Just so that we prevent ourselves getting eaten while we're still doing other things. Now, my instinct is what we actually want to do is pretty much straight away declare war on Novgorod. And vassalize them. The main issue we've got with that is Muscovy does have permaclaims on Novgorod now. Because they've completed the missions for it. I think they need Notoboy or Ingermanland, and there is a risk that Muscovy declare on the Livonian Order. That is a risk. But I think there's a way round that risk if... We probably want to be doing is get some claims, because we've kind of got to keep these two on full at the moment, just to keep them going. So Denmark's preparing to go for the Livonian Order, at which point Muscovy will probably jump on them as well. We'll see. We might as well rival the Livonians. Who's Austria rivaled? Because Austria would be nice. It didn't rival Bohemia, so... This is our risk. We're going to get some Norwegian rebels against us. Let's go deal with the Norwegian rebels. The Polish conquest of Starsgard against Stettin. This is a war they have started. Yeah, Stettin is allied with the Livonian Order and Mecklenburg. Stettin is part of the Empire and Austria will protect them. Will they, though? They are. Yeah, new plan. Let's see if we can smash down the Livonians. We don't have a claim on Ingerman land, but we should be able to put one in. I mean, we're going to have to join this war. We can't not join this war. The good news is we did at least get enough troops back over here to deal with our rebels. Poland is going to get the shit kicked out of it in this war. Okay, we're going hammer and tongs for the Livonians. Fuck, get that get fucking port, you idiots. Riga, give me military access. Oh, I can't because of that fort. We basically need the Livonians out of this war as fast as possible, but we want to take all of the glory for it. Good news is we've got a decent siege general. Can't get around that way yet. Can get over there. They're not going to move that fleet, but that's fine. I'm not worried about getting to Ingermanland, because the Poles have no interest in it, so they'll hand it over to me. Now they know I have interest in it, they'll hand it over. Chad, communism enjoyer! I hope you enjoy your communism. Right, they're going to murder my troops, but that's fine. It's kind of why I left them hanging out a bit over there, because it will give us war score contribution. And it means I can now do that. Don't need it, we can get round. As soon as this siege falls, we're going after that army. See, look, they've handed it over. And we're going to get on the capital before they do. We've got a really good siege general here. Weirdly, I'm more worried about a fucking invasion. What's also critical is we're getting this territory, and by occupying this territory what we're actually doing is blocking Lithuania from taking it. So the Poles can't give Lithuania anything in the peace. They can only give territory to us. Which means what I'm hoping is they'll kind of go, oh well, might as well. And just give us the territory. Because the Poles are absolutely going to lose this war in general. Right, we're going to need to move our... That's fine. We might as well move on to there to get a little bit of value in the siege score. Robertoan! Thank you very much for your subscription with Prime. Enjoy your emotes. Wave your emotes, chat, if you have them. Your CK3 emotes. New emotes are on the way over Christmas. With our XCOM percentage emote, we'll be joining the gang. Wave your murder spiders and jail babies in pride. And you're not my cats. We're taking some loans for this, but it's fine. Right. They should absolutely piece that out and give us Ingerman land now, unless they're arseholes. Because they have no interest in it at all. We got it! They did it! Now our key thing is just stopping invasions. In fact, what we might want to do is try and fight that. Oh, that's annoying. They reinforced it just in time. Doesn't matter, the rest of the army's coming in. States. Definitely make that state. Novgorodian separatists. No thank you, you can get out of my lands. Can you... could you not have waited? Because now you're going to lose as well. How about everyone just waits here, gets back together again, and then goes after them? How about we do that, yeah? You go kill them again. Yeah, galleys. It's better than nothing. What allies the Austrians brought to the table? Probably some really shitty allies for Austria. Poland might win this, you know. Poland might legitimately win this. How much gold are we losing? 1.8. Just extend the line. Right, go kill them. No. 7 noble regiments and Jokmok. I have to give them autonomy. So I'm more worried about rebels at the moment. So we're just going to chill and deal with our rebels. I don't need to. We generate enough favours quickly with the Poles anyway. Like, we're sitting on 14 already, so we could already bring them into our next war that we needed them in. I'm more interested in currying favours with Muscovy, to be honest. That's probably more in our interest. I'm going to have to go deal with those fucking separatists. That's a weird bug they've introduced with that. So essentially your claims now don't disappear when you call a territory. So even though that's core territory for us, we are going to get some Teutonic separatists. But the Poles should deal with them, or we can march around and deal with them. Who's Muscovy at war with? Oh, they want to go deal with the rebels. Go for it. Have fun. Yeah, Poland, Lithuania, PU'd. Right, we might want to go deal with them. We haven't got to worry about the navy getting smacked around, so let's go deal with those ourselves. No, use the fucking boats. Get Norway on board. Maybe Novgorod as a vassal. I'd like Shaland. Holstein is actually independent. So if we could engineer it, we could get hold of Holstein and vassalize them. And that would be our useful thing for holding the Danish peninsula. Are you going to fight them for us? Go for it, man. Or not. Yeah, cheers. Go kill them. I'd say you slightly overkilled my rebels there, but I'm not going to argue. Muscovy's dealt with the ones up here. Which is perfect. Right, lads. I know I told you to go here. But, can you go home? And deal with those fools. No. Use the boats. Use the boats, lads. Denmark is at war with Stettin, Livonian Order and Riga. What I'd like is to get hold of Riga. Because we're really slamming the trade node stuff here. What I should probably do, thinking about it, is I'd like to move our trade capital to... Is it Elfsborg that's got the... Which one of these has got the trade node? Elfsborg. Move our trade capital to Elfsborg so that it's on the Lübeck node. Then steer trade in from the Baltic and beef Elfsborg up. I think it's more so the AI will generally bias towards pathing over land if it can path over land. So if you hold down control, you can say, no, seriously lads, use the boats. Novgorodian separatists are next. So let's get them round there, because if they spawn in Ingerman land, we're not going to get... We're going to get separatism. How about actually before we do that we go kill them. You go kill those ships. In fact, if we stick them there, won't that be a stack wipe? And just for added shits and giggles, let's sortie the garrison. Because then we will win. No, you just need to stop them being able to retreat anywhere. And they couldn't retreat anywhere. We lost our terrible general, but that's not the end of the world. When's your truce with... Novgorod is 1485, so we've got ages on that. That's fine. See, this is where the AI isn't smart enough. Because if the AI was smart, it would be piecing out Stettin now. And it's not going to. It's going to try and fight all of this shit down here. So the AI is going to lose this war. Go chill in Noterborg. Noterboy. Oh no, they pulled it off. They pulled it off. Poland now owes us 24 favours on top of the amount of favours they already frickin' owed us. 41 favours. Nice. Absolute respect to them for that. So the next war on Denmark isn't until we hit 800. The absolute mad lads. Because then we can get transfer subjects, and we want to transfer subjects. We also really, really, really need Renaissance. Wolgast has rivaled me. Oh no, I'm terrified. Oh, Denmark, you beauty. Denmark took the Baltic, which means they're now proximate to Muscovy. Which means... What do you want? You want some sailors? Absolutely. Have 30 sailors in return for those favours. So Bohemia, if it's going to please one of these gangs, but I don't think any of them rival Bohemia. France, Castile and Poland. We're not in the France-Castile range yet, let's be honest. So let's just re-rival back Wolgast. No, if we declared on Wolgast, we'd be dragging in Denmark and Austria. And let's not do that. But what this does mean is Denmark now shares a border, or near enough shares a border with Muscovy. So they're not going to get the distance penalty for if I do that. So Denmark have just done themselves in there. So we want Norway. Denmark's not going to be able to integrate Norway. Age isn't going to end until 1512. So So we absolutely have one more time for one more war and still get Norway. English fleet plus our fleet should smack the shit out of the Danish fleet. So we could go for Sjælland in this war. If Holstein's still allied to Denmark, that would be the other thing we could do. But they're not. They're allied with Brabant, Wolgast and Scilly. Strapping old lad, thank you very much for the follow. We've got time for one more war before I end the stream. So I'm thinking we probably do go... Do you want one more war with Denmark, chat? Shall I give you one more war with Denmark? Who do we have to promise land to? Poland. But that's fine, because they just want a bit of Wolgast. Oh yeah, we should have enough favours, we can just flip them already. Poland, prepare for war. We've got a ton of favours with Poland. We should probably trade for soldiers first. I think we might win that war, you know. I think we YOLO this and go for Sjælland. Because what I'd really like to do is move the Skane fort to Sjælland. And then ditch that fort. And then that becomes our new border. Yeah, but we can leave our army over here to deal with the Novgorod separatists. This is favours, so we can just basically just let Muscovy and Poland and Lithuania murk the shit out of Norway, Denmark and their allies. Like, we could just literally sit here and do fuck all. And let them do it. Because we're calling them in on favours. So they don't want territory. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Everyone's still coming in? Everyone's literally only just coming in, but they'll do it. I don't necessarily need a border with Riga to get that though, because I'll just wait for... Because we're going to take transfer subject so that we can get Norway. And then we'll just hop a claim to Riga, because we'll just claim on Ozil and then claim on Riga. In fact, actually, I think our Baltic Fleet mission actually gives us claims on it anyway. Which is total navy size of at least 90% of force limit, and we're going to go for that. Gives us a permaclaim on Riga. Denmark's already at war as well with Mecklenburg, the Teutonic Order, and Gelra, so... Let's go for Shaeland. We'll give you a final war for Shaeland. Hey Denmark, have you met our friends with 160,000 troops? Well, 180 near enough. Right, England, go do your navy thing. What's the difference with humiliate rivals? So if I humiliated rival, I would get monarch points and power projection for defeating them, but I wouldn't be able to take any territory. And right now, territory is more useful to us. We are massively falling behind in tech, though, and we do need to deal with that sooner rather than later. That's dealt with. We will go deal with Norway. Lithuania, can you go deal with that, please? Norway's like, oh shit. Right, Miltech, perfect timing. England, I want you on Shaeland. I need your navies to do their navy thing. Like that. Exactly like that. Don't move, you bastards! Why would you move? Oh, you little shits! Why would you move? I just needed a day. See, look, our ally swarm is just doing everything. We don't need to do anything. We can just sit here and build our manpower back up. They'll even deal with those rebels for us. Watch. We're getting a minus 20 discount on techs now. Like, that is literally the first admin tech we've taken since the game began. That's how far we were behind on admin tech. Where the get your navy out there and... England, I'm not... you're not in this war because I like you. You're in this war because you have a navy. I mean, worst case, we'll get Norway out of this war. We are gaining this at a reasonable rate now. The main problem is we haven't humiliated any rivals. Right, Royal Navy's coming. Our rebels dealing with the Norwegians there. I need you in there. Right, we can peace out Dithmarschen. give us war reps and money. Revel is fully occupied. Norway is fully occupied, so now everyone should stream round and do the business around the other side. Let's repay one loan. So we need Volgast, but we're going to give them territory. Come on, come on, come on, come on. They're going in. We're going in as well. Why would you go away? Yes, we're on it. We're on it. We're on Shayland. Game over, Denmark. Game over. We're on Shayland. And you lot get fuck into port. And now get out. And now get back in again. Everyone's been smacked around down here, so that's fine. Sucks being Denmark. See, we are gaining 3 a month on that. %20 ahead? Yeah, we'll take it. See, I'd deal with that if I were them, but, I mean, you do you. That's the thing, is we could just sit on Denmark for 3 years. Wouldn't even be that long if we pieced out Volgar separately, gave Poland land and humiliated them, because that would actually fulfill another age objective. And then we'd pick up points even faster. I think what we want to look at is whether we can do both, because we might not be able to do both. And then it becomes a question of whether we take Shayland now and then get Norway later, or whether we take Norway now and leave it at that. So let's have a look at what it would cost, because don't forget we've got to give. I don't think we'll be able to do it, because transfer vassal would almost certainly be basically pretty much 100% of war score. I think we take Shayland now, because then we're ending the war well in time for us to get another Norway war in. Like, we'll get Shayland. Poland doesn't. Oh, we didn't even have to. We don't have to give Poland anything because we called them in on favours, didn't we? We called Poland in on favours. We called Poland in on favours. We can peace out Volgast. We can humiliate them. which is another Age of Discovery bonus. Because we've humiliated a rival. So we're going to gain 5, which means we're even closer. So we now only actually need to wait... So that's 60, 12 months. Clay is good, Norway's better. And that alliance isn't going to drop. So we can go for Denmark again and get Volgar's territory when we do that. Clay can wait. That's the clay we want if we can get it. Yeah, that's the other thing, is it would be incredibly pricey to take that. We could take it, but the AE would be off the charts. So what's that? 3 more months? 4 more months? Oh yeah, we'd be fine with the alliance block we've got. We'd absolutely handle it, but there's no reason to do it early. Because we've got to wait for the decay. Peasant revolt in Danzig. Yes, absolutely. Guys, can you go deal with my peasant revolt in Danzig, please? Cheers. Thanks, guys. Love you. Transfer subjects. Oh, does it not count because we didn't... No, it does. There it is. There it is. Yes, boys. Do we take war reps off them? Yeah, Denmark's not keen on this. Yeah, but we can get them anytime. It's a piece of piss. Legit not worried about getting them. Be nice to have Gotland back, but I won't give I'll give us Scotland back because we didn't take a fort in the area. No, you know what we want? Pharaohs. We want pharaohs for colonial range. I've not had any frame drops, so it might be the Twitch being weird. We don't have range on Iceland. I could Yonka province, but Norway will dislike me. Whereas if I take that, do you know the other thing I can do? Fabricate on Scotland. Sneak a claim around here. Also, Norway gets colonial benefits itself, so it's actually in our interest to let Norway colonize. Because I'm thinking relatively small Sweden. Like, that's our conquest zone. And then we get colonial range. That's what we want. And we can get war reps off them. And 90 gold. So Denmark will siege Sjælland to Sweden. Norway will cede Faroe Islands to Sweden. Denmark will be forced to give Sweden 10% of their income each month to pay for war reparations. Denmark will transfer their overlordship over Sweden? Over Norway, I think you'll find. Game bug. Denmark will pay 90 ducats to Sweden. Sweden will get 11 of ducats of this amount. Oh, well, that's better than no ducats. Sweden suffers a maximum of 75% aggressive expansion relations penalty. No, because if they unconditionally surrender, they'll give us territory, and we don't want that. I don't think we can revoke the core. I don't think. Because it's a Norwegian core, not a Danish core. I think. Essentially, we're in the territory or nothing category. The other option would be that we take Bergen House off of Norway, which gives us a trade outlet. Means the colonial range isn't quite as good, but it does give us then a North Sea trading post that's on our side of the pond, which is useful for us because then we can use it to boost trade and steer trade from the North Sea into the Channel. I'm tempted to do that instead, to be honest. Or both. That's exactly 100. That's what we're doing. The Faroes will give back to them once we've colonised. Hey, voila. Sweden with a Norwegian puppet. Whose liberty desire we very much need to do something about. Oh, this is Epidemic Sounds. We are Sweden with a Norwegian puppet. We have alliances with Muscovy and Poland. We also own most of key bits of East Prussia. And we own Never. And we own Ingermanland. Sweden is strong by 1482. And we've got an alliance with England as well. I would say that's not a bad setup, the state of affairs that we've done there.